Hello and welcome to another episode of the Top of Off Cricket Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Henry, and as usual, we are talking everything West Indies cricket. Now, yesterday the West Indies took on South Africa in the first of three T20 matches in preparation for the T20 World Cup. And in the last episode that I did, you can go back and check that out. It was about how West Indies will go in this three-match series. And some of the things that I highlighted, some of the questions that I asked did come to pass, right? So how did we go in this first T20? First thing I asked was, how are we going to go into power play? What kind of foundation are we going to lay in the power play when we are batting? How will we manage the middle overs, especially on these West Indian pitches that are kind of tough? If you were to look at the stats, the par score for Sabina Park is about 170. We got 175, so we got above par. Based on how the South Africans were bowling in the middle overs, it was actually looking like we were going to get about 160. So kudos to the West Indies for getting above that. Then I also asked, who will be charged with finishing the innings, right? I wanted to see if Fabian Allen was going to take that responsibility or Andre Fletcher was going to take that responsibility. So how did we go overall in this match? Let's take a look at the batting. I thought it was a great effort, a phenomenal effort in the first 10. We got up to 66, what was that? 64 for 1. And I thought that was a really, really nice foundation in the first 6 overs. 10.4, that's really, really good. You know, that's a launching pad. Based on how Brandon King and at the time Kyle Mayers were batting, I really thought that Brandon King should have looked to bat throughout the innings. At the point in time when he got out, it was in the last ball of the 11th over. I really think he should have taken the responsibility to bat throughout the innings, seeing that he was the one that had real momentum, right? He was seeing the ball well, he was hitting the ball well. He should have stayed there. Naturally, if he had stayed there, he would have gotten a century. But the purpose of him staying there was for him to steer the ship, him to ensure that we got a total that was beyond 200, look to back the South Africans out of the game. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and we ended in the last 10 overs, we only scored 66 runs. That was going a run a ball. That is what happened, or just more than a run a ball. That is what happened in the last 10, and I think primarily that was because we lost the wicket to Brandon King. He should have taken a bit more responsibility there. We cannot leave certain things up to chance, especially when you are the in batsman, right? We did not handle the middle overs well. And I did ask that question, how are we going to handle the middle overs? We did not handle the middle overs well. And there's a few reasons why that did not happen, especially the middle overs and the finishing. Let's talk about it. When Andre Fletcher came to the wicket, once Kyle Mayers was gone and Brandon King were gone, it was time for them for a bit of consolidation. And this is where you see batsmen who are not playing regular red ball cricket. Andre Fletcher got a delivery that was on off stump and looked to play that delivery through mid-wicket, looked to play the ball through the mid-wicket square leg area and lost his off stump. That delivery should have been played where it came from. Play the line of delivery, play the percentages. And had he been playing red ball cricket, maybe he would have been playing the percentages. Fabian Allen, who was really counting on to finish the innings with a flurry, did the same thing. Got a ball on middle and off. His eyes and the face of the bat were facing mid-wicket square leg area. And he ended up being plumb LBW. And this is what happens when batsmen are not playing red ball cricket. When you look at the likes of Virat Kohli and Johnny Bairstow and these guys, the reason why they're so good is because they play red ball cricket. And our batsmen especially are struggling when they get fed test match lines and lengths. Had South Africa batted differently yesterday, this would have been a different story. Anyways, so I also asked, how would we go when we bowl? Seeing that bowling is our main weakness. We won the power play yesterday, 46-3. That is what we need to replicate in the next two matches and in the T20 World Cup. We have to win the power play. That's what we did yesterday. We not only won the power play, we did phenomenally well during the middle overs. Moti and Obed McCoy, and Shamar Joseph to a lesser extent, they were really, really good during those middle overs yesterday. And kudos to especially Moti. Trusting his stuff. Not looking to bowl 4 or 5 different deliveries in one over. Trusting his stuff. And that is what West Indian bowlers have got to do. You don't have to have 6 different deliveries during an inning or during an over in order to be effective. Perfect one and be great at it. And Moti was doing just that. Kudos to them. Fabian Allen also, while he did not take a wicket, he was pretty good in the middle overs. Came back down at the end in his final over and took some tap from Razor Hendricks. But during the middle overs, he was really, really good. So the last over, in T20 cricket, it's a lottery. If you understand T20 cricket, you will understand what I'm saying. Today, you will have a good outing. Tomorrow, you will not. You can come and bowl the same stuff and you will not have a good outing. During a match, you can be having a great over and then somebody take it to you in another over. It is just how it goes. That is what happened to Fabian Allen. His last over, I think he was taking for like almost 20 runs, right? But kudos to the guys. I was worried once I saw the team selection, once I saw the 11, I was a bit worried how we would go in the middle overs, especially, and coming down to the back, and how we would fare when it was our turn to bowl. So we did what we needed to do in the power play while we were batting. We did not show up too well in the middle overs and at the end. That needs to be worked on. Fabian Allen, Andre Fletcher needs to take some responsibility, right? If Brandon King is going to bat that deep into the inning, he needs to take responsibility and see it through. Well done to Matthew Ford. Early wickets, first over. You need to be picking up wickets. Well done. Shamar Joseph, well done. Test match lines and lengths. It's always going to challenge batsmen. Ask the questions. Top of off. That is what he did. Same thing with Obed McCoy. Gudakesh Moti, it was same thing. There was an Indian coach recently who said something. They focus a lot on line, not so much on length. Because you can bowl a poor length, but as long as the line is good, you can still pick up wickets. That is what he was trying to emphasize. And our lines were generally good yesterday. Don't forget Roston Chase. Roston Chase bowled 2 overs to 12 runs, but he really, really bowled well up front. Don't forget Roston Chase. And I think this is a role that Chase is going to have to play during the World Cup. He is going to be really, really valuable if he continues along this line. So, well done to the boys yesterday, especially defending a total like 175 against a team like South Africa. That's a pretty powerful team that they put out there. Ryan Rickleton, Rassie van der Dussen, Reza Hendricks, Quinton de Kock, Lungi and Gidi. That is a really, really powerful team. So I'm looking forward tomorrow to see how we fare. I know the South Africans are going to rejig a few things. They're going to look to come back at us, and they're going to look to come back hard because that is how South Africans play. All right? So I hope there might be a couple of changes. There might be Romario Shepherd coming in. Who knows? But let's see how it goes. I am Kevin Henry for the Top of Off Cricket Podcast. See you next time.